A few years ago, owning a Lexus meant you had made it. It was the quiet millionaire car, the brand people bought when they were tired of repair bills, dashboard warning lights, and expensive German maintenance nightmares. But today, scroll through social media, luxury car forums, or YouTube comments, and something strange is happening. Young buyers dream about BMWs, executives post their Mercedes online, Porsche has become the internet's obsession, and Lexus, almost invisible. Not because the cars are bad. In fact, many people still believe Lexus builds some of the most reliable luxury cars on earth. But that's exactly the problem, because in today's world, being reliable isn't enough anymore. So what happened to one of the most respected luxury brands ever created? Why are enthusiasts walking away? Why does Lexus suddenly feel old? And why are some people calling modern Lexus cars nothing more than expensive Toyotas? Today, we uncover the strange identity crisis destroying Lexus. And trust me, the deeper you look, the worse it gets. Chapter 1: Lexus was once the ultimate luxury disruptor. Back in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Lexus completely shocked the automotive world. At the time, German brands ruled luxury. BMW was the ultimate driving machine. Mercedes-Benz represented power and status. Audi was becoming the rising technology giant. And then Toyota entered the luxury market with a crazy idea. What if a luxury car could be smooth, silent, comfortable, beautifully built, and reliable? That sounded impossible back then. Luxury cars were expected to break. People almost accepted it as part of the experience. But then Lexus launched the LS400, and suddenly everything changed. The car was quieter than German rivals. It was smoother, cheaper to maintain, more reliable, and incredibly refined. People were stunned. Mercedes executives reportedly became obsessed with analyzing the LS400 because it embarrassed cars costing far more money. Lexus didn't just enter the luxury market, it humiliated the old kings. And for years, the formula worked perfectly. The RX became one of the best-selling luxury SUVs in America. The ES became famous for comfort. The GX and LX built reputations for lasting forever. Lexus became the brand for smart, wealthy people. Not flashy people, not attention seekers. Smart people. People who wanted peace of mind. And that strategy made Lexus massively successful. But over time, the luxury market changed. People stopped buying luxury cars only for comfort and reliability. Now they wanted giant screens, crazy lighting, aggressive styling, emotional driving, social media attention, and constant innovation. Suddenly, Lexus's greatest strength became its biggest weakness. Because while the world evolved rapidly, Lexus stayed almost the same. Chapter 2: The biggest problem? Lexus feels emotionless. This is probably the biggest reason younger buyers are ignoring Lexus. Modern luxury buyers don't just want transportation anymore. They want emotion. A BMW makes people feel sporty. A Mercedes feels futuristic and dramatic. A Porsche feels exciting before you even start the engine. But Lexus, many people describe it with one word: comfortable. That's not necessarily bad, but it's not exciting either. Walk into a modern Mercedes-Benz showroom and it feels like entering a nightclub. Massive ambient lighting, huge screens everywhere, animated graphics, futuristic interiors. Even if the car has problems later, the first impression is unforgettable. Now compare that to many Lexus interiors. They're well built, quiet, practical, but sometimes they feel years behind in excitement. And in the age of TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, excitement matters more than ever. People don't post reliability online. They post drama. They post acceleration clips, luxury interiors glowing at night, exhaust sounds, crazy technology. German brands understand this perfectly. Lexus often feels too careful, too safe, too mature. And for younger luxury buyers, that becomes a huge problem, especially because luxury cars today are no longer just transportation. They're social status tools, they're personality statements. And unfortunately for Lexus, its personality has become invisible. Chapter 3: The taxi car problem. Nobody talks about. This may sound ridiculous, but it has quietly damaged Lexus' image in several markets. Some Lexus models are simply too durable. Cars like the Lexus ES and RX are famous for surviving hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal issues. That reliability made them extremely popular for premium taxi fleets and chauffeur services in certain countries. And that creates a strange psychological problem. Luxury buyers want exclusivity. They want their car to feel special. But when people constantly see a certain model being used as an airport taxi or ride service vehicle, the luxury image weakens. This happened before with Mercedes-Benz. In many countries, older E-Class Mercedes became associated with taxis, but Mercedes escaped that image by constantly reinventing itself with flashy new technology and aggressive styling. Lexus never fully escaped. The ES especially suffers from this reputation. Some people now see it less as a luxury symbol and more as a super reliable transportation appliance. And unfortunately, perception matters massively in the luxury world because luxury is emotional. A Rolex tells time just like a cheaper watch. A designer bag carries items like a normal bag. People buy luxury because of feeling, and once a luxury product loses that emotional aura, rebuilding it becomes incredibly difficult. That's the challenge Lexus faces today. Its cars are respected, but fewer people truly desire them, and there's a massive difference between respect and desire. Chapter 4. German brands mastered the art of selling dreams. BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi figured something out years ago. Luxury buyers don't always care about long-term ownership. They care about the experience right now. That completely changed the game. Many German luxury customers lease cars instead of owning them long-term. That means they always get the newest technology, newest styling, newest screens, newest engines, newest status. And because they return the car after a few years, reliability becomes less important. Lexus built its entire identity around long-term ownership. German brands built their identity around short-term excitement. And in today's social media-driven world, excitement wins attention. A BMW M car sounds aggressive. A Mercedes AMG feels theatrical. Audi interiors look futuristic. Meanwhile, Lexus often feels conservative. Even their marketing feels quieter. And while Lexus buyers may secretly be making the smarter financial decision, luxury buyers are not always trying to be financially smart. They're trying to feel successful. That's why someone may still choose a German luxury car even knowing it could become expensive later. Because emotionally, the car feels more exciting, more prestigious, more alive. Lexus focused on logic. The Germans focused on emotion. And emotion almost always wins in luxury markets. Chapter 5. Camry Pro Max. The criticism hurting Lexus. One of the harshest criticisms Lexus faces today is this. Some buyers feel Lexus cars are just expensive Toyotas. Now technically, that connection is one reason Lexus vehicles are so reliable. Toyota engineering is legendary, but perception matters, and critics have started mocking some Lexus models as Camry Pro Max, especially vehicles like the Lexus ES. The problem is that many buyers expect a luxury car to feel completely unique from mainstream brands. BMW doesn't feel like a normal economy car. Mercedes interiors feel dramatically different, but some Lexus products share platforms, engines, or driving characteristics with Toyota models, and once people notice that, the luxury illusion weakens. Buyers start asking dangerous questions. Why spend this much money? Why not just buy a fully loaded Toyota? Am I paying only for the badge? This criticism spreads heavily online, and younger buyers are influenced massively by internet opinions, even if those opinions are exaggerated. Ironically, Lexus's connection to Toyota is both its greatest advantage and biggest weakness, because Toyota reliability gives Lexus incredible durability, but it also prevents the brand from feeling truly exotic or aspirational. And in luxury markets, being aspirational matters everything. Chapter 6. Lexus lost the performance war. There was a time when Lexus proved it could build exciting cars, and one car changed everything. The LFA, the legendary V10 supercar, became one of the greatest Japanese performance cars ever built. Its engine sound became iconic. Its engineering stunned the world. For a moment, Lexus looked dangerous. People believed the company might finally become a true performance rival to BMW M, AMG, and Porsche. But then, almost nothing happened afterward. Instead of aggressively expanding high-performance vehicles, rivals, Lexus returned to playing it safe. Meanwhile, German brands exploded with performance innovation. BMW M cars became monsters. AMG turned Mercedes into tire shredding machines. Porsche perfected performance engineering. Lexus performance models often felt slower, heavier, or less emotional. Even enthusiasts started losing interest. And then came another problem. The automotive industry began killing V8 engines. Hybrid systems and emissions regulations changed everything. Lexus started moving toward electrification and efficiency. While understandable, many loyal enthusiasts hated it. Some beloved coupes and sporty sedans disappeared in certain markets. The RC struggled, the IS lost momentum, and performance-focused buyers started leaving. Because enthusiasts are emotional customers, they remember engine sounds, driving feel, character. Once a brand loses enthusiast excitement, rebuilding it can take decades, and Lexus is learning that the hard way. Chapter 7. Reliability became boring. This sounds insane, but Lexus may actually be suffering because it's too reliable. Think about modern car culture online. People constantly talk about breakdowns, expensive repairs, crazy tuning builds, engine swaps, dramatic ownership experiences. German cars create stories, sometimes terrible stories, but stories. Lexus ownership is often the opposite. People buy the car, maintain it, drive it for 10 years, and almost nothing dramatic happens. That's amazing in real life, but terrible for internet excitement. Reliability doesn't go viral, drama does. A broken BMW engine gets millions of views. A Lamborghini repair bill trends online, but a Lexus quietly running perfectly for 300,000 miles. People almost expect it, so the brand slowly disappears from conversation, and once a luxury brand stops dominating conversations, it slowly loses cultural relevance. That's what's happening right now. Lexus still sells cars, still has loyal customers, still builds incredibly dependable vehicles, but culturally it no longer dominates attention, and attention is the new currency in modern luxury markets. Chapter 8. Lexus feels stuck between two worlds. Here's Lexus's biggest identity crisis. The brand is trapped in the middle. It's not as flashy as German luxury brands, but it's also much more expensive than mainstream Toyota vehicles. That creates confusion, some buyers think, so Lexus gets squeezed from both directions. And this problem becomes even worse internationally. In countries with massive import taxes, Lexus pricing can become extremely high. At that point, buyers start comparing it directly against locally produced German rivals, and many choose the Germans because of status, even if Lexus may actually be the smarter ownership experience. Luxury buyers often don't buy with logic alone. They buy emotion, recognition, and prestige. That's why flashy brands dominate social media. Lexus doesn't create enough emotional excitement to overpower its pricing challenges, so it ends up feeling like the safe choice. And sadly, safe choices rarely dominate luxury conversations anymore. Chapter 9. The world changed faster than Lexus expected. The luxury car market today looks completely different compared to 15 years ago. Cars are no longer just machines. They are entertainment systems, rolling smartphones, digital experiences, and consumers now expect constant innovation. Tesla changed expectations completely. Huge screens, software updates, minimalist futuristic interiors. Then German brands reacted aggressively. Mercedes created hyperscreens. BMW introduced giant curved displays. Audi pushed advanced lighting systems. Meanwhile, Lexus often felt slower to evolve technologically. Not necessarily outdated, but less exciting. And perception matters more than reality, even if Lexus systems work better long term. People notice what looks futuristic first. This is where Lexus struggles badly. Chapter 10, but here's the twist. Lexus might actually win in the end. Despite all the criticism, there's another side to this story. Many luxury car owners eventually get tired of repair bills, unreliable electronics, dealership nightmares, expensive maintenance, and constant depreciation. That's usually when people discover Lexus, because Lexus ownership often feels peaceful, and peace has value, especially as luxury cars become more complicated and expensive. While some German luxury vehicles lose massive value after warranty periods, many Lexus Lexus models retain impressive resale value. Why? Because people trust them. That trust is incredibly powerful. And in an era where many automakers are struggling with software problems, unreliable electronics, and rushed EV transitions, Lexus's cautious approach may actually become an advantage again. The company has never been the loudest, never the flashiest, never the trendiest, but Lexus built its reputation slowly through consistency, and consistency survives trends. The internet may ignore Lexus today. Car enthusiasts may call the brand boring, but millions of owners still quietly love these cars, because at the end of the day, most people don't actually want drama from their vehicle. They just want something that works every single day, and almost nobody does that better than Lexus. So no, Lexus is not dying, but the brand is fighting a major identity crisis. It must figure out whether it wants to chase younger buyers with emotional designs and performance, or continue dominating reliability and long-term ownership, because staying stuck in the middle may be the biggest danger of all. Lexus built an empire by being smarter than everyone else, but in today's world, being smart doesn't always make you desirable, and that's the strange tragedy of Lexus, a brand respected by almost everyone, yet dreamed about by fewer people every year. But what do you think? Has Lexus become boring, or are modern luxury buyers simply chasing hype over quality? And if you had luxury car money today, would you buy Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, or Porsche? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this documentary style breakdown, subscribe for more deep dives into the rise and fall of the automotive world, because the next luxury brand is facing a crisis might completely surprise you.